Hello everyone and welcome to Home Online Math Education. Um, like you can see on the board today, we'll be treating on the topic sequence and series. I got a call from one of my students and he was really troubled. He needed some tutorials on this very topic. And so I just thought that I should probably make a record of the topic and probably so that it will not just be of advantage to just him, but it will be of advantage to those of you who might also be finding it difficult to, um, you know, work it out with sequence and series. So sequence and series is not really a difficult topic. Trust me, all you just have to do is stick to the end of this tutorial. I'm sure you'll love it. Please, if you know you're watching this video right now, kindly help to share it to your friends. Let others participate along. So without any further ado, let's dive into the topic of the day. Welcome back to Home Online Maths Education. It's very important that we commit things as such as this into the hands of God for perfect understanding. So why not you just join me to say this very short prayer you can see right now on the screen. My mind is where I am always. Oh Lord, open my mind to easily assimilate today's lesson to the fullest and help me to become a genius in all my endeavor. So help me God. Okay, now we are done with the prayers. Let's dive into this. So firstly, we are going to use a textbook. It's known as Akiola Maths textbook. I just thought of using it today. Okay, I just thought of using a maths textbook today. Probably it will make the class to feel a little bit more realistic. So, like I said, we are going to be treating on sequence and series, but we will not be talking so much about every part of it. Okay, firstly, we'll have to introduce some part of it. The introduction of the sequence and series. Like I can read from the textbook, they say, can you see any pattern in the following numbers? So we have some list of numbers in the textbook, and they want us to recognize or to acknowledge the pattern that the numbers are following. For instance, the examples I can see here, we have is 2, 4, 6, 8, and 10. Now, when you see this on the board, I want you to look at it very closely. What can you notice is the repetitive pattern that is being used in the numbers here. You can notice that there is always an addition of 2 to get to 4, and an addition of 2 on 4 to get to 6, an addition of 2 to 6 to get to 8, an addition of 2 to 8 to get to 10. So this is just what is happening over here. This is the pattern. There is always an addition of 2 so far. Now I want you to look at this set of numbers right now on the screen. How can you what can you notice are the pattern that the numbers are being followed by to get to the next number? What can you notice? If you check very well, we have actually 5, 10, 20, 40, 80. So what is happening over there is actually a multiplication of 2. So 2 times 5 is 10, and 2 times 10 is 20, and 2 times 20 is 40, and 2 times 40 is 8. So multiplication of 2. So that is what we notice is the pattern. The reason why I have to introduce this aspect of the sequence and series is there is really a little depth of it. So this introduction is really very important. So once you have this idea of the pattern that numbers have to follow for it to increase from the point where it is to another, then you'll be very good with sequence and series. Okay, now you can see this number on the screen. What do you think is the pattern that the number is also following? No? So I want you to be able to answer that. You have just 5 seconds and your time starts now. Okay, time up. So we have 1, 2, 4, 7, 11. So what is the pattern here? We can notice that there is an addition of 1 to get to 2, and now there is an addition of 2 to get to 4, and then an addition of 3 to get to 7. So I think this, from what I am not saying here, is just the increment of numbers. Like we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So which means if we want to get the firstly we added 3, they added 3 to 4 to get to 7, right? So that means, and they also added 4 to 7 to get to 11. Meaning, if you want to get the next number after 11, all you have to do now is add 5. Since the other numbers, the other number, the 7 itself that we got, we actually added 4 to 7 to get to 11. So which means if you want to get the next number, you're no longer going to add the 4 that you just passed. You're going to add 5 now to 11 to get the next number. And when you add 5 to 11, then that means you are going to be getting 16. And so when you get 16, you want to get to the next number. What you're going to do is you're going to add 6 to 16 to get to the next number. And when you add 6 to 16, you'll be getting 22. And so that's it. From 22, you're on the next thing is you have to add 7, and it moves on that way. Sequence and series is really, really interesting. So we are done with some basic introduction from the moment. Now, I can see something here. I guess I would just like to read it. Let's see how it goes. Now they said patterns of sequence. A sequence can be described by listing its first few terms. For example, 5, 10, 15, 20. Sometimes you need to give the next terms in the sequence. First look. Okay, fine. All this long grammar they're just saying here is, like you can see now, we have 5, 10, 15, 20 right now on the screen. And if you are asked, oh, what is the pattern that this number is actually following to increase from 5 till it got to 20? What pattern? What do you notice? You will notice closely that it is just the addition of 5 all throughout. When you add 5 to 5, you get 10. So when you add 5 to 10, you get 15. When you add 5 to 15, you get 20. So this is just basically the main basics of sequence and series. You have to have this in your mind. Once you are good with this, you don't really have any trouble. I know I've gone to some extent in this video. Probably you're watching this video, and I'm sure you find it really interesting. Just kindly share this video. I would really, really appreciate that a lot. And subscribe and click the notification bell if you haven't done that. Okay, now we are done with the introduction. Let's move into the main thing of sequence and series. Firstly, sequence and series usually have it usually has its formulas. We have the arithmetic progression, and we also have the one we call the geometric progression. And so let's see how it's going to go on today's video. So because of how long the video is a little bit taking, for now we won't do geometric progression. So if you are finding it difficult with arithmetic progression, then this video is really for you. And probably even if you are already good with arithmetic progression, I guess maybe you can still stick around to the end of the video, because you never can tell what and what you could learn after watching this tutorial. Now, the arithmetic progression has its formula, the same way geometric progression also has its formula. When you are introduced to a particular topic in mathematics, and probably that topic usually has a lot of formulas inside it. One thing you need to understand here is this: once it has formulas, please, I will always advise the student, cram the formulas, memorize the formulas. Once you have the formula up here, then solving things concerning that very topic will not be difficult the way any other person might feel it is difficult. So just like you can see on the screen now, this is the formula for arithmetic progression. And now you are told, okay, you are given the first question to treat on, and the second question and the third question, and now this is where the big issue is, and you can't really solve this. So we are going to treat that right now in this video. So I want you to keep staring at the formula. Okay, I guess I have to push it to the other side of the screen. Let it stay over there. For it to be there all throughout the video, so your eyes can keep staring at the formula. So now while I also place it on the board. So the formula is un equals a plus and d. Now this is the formula just like you are seeing it on the screen already. Now this a itself is what we usually call the first term. The a is what is recognized as the first term. Now just like you can see, for instance, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. The first term in this set of numbers is 2. And so just like you can see the second example on the screen, and the third example on the screen, and the fourth example on the screen, the first numbers which are circled right now, all these numbers are the first term. In short, the first number that begins the sequence is our first term. And so in another way, a way I can just tell you that you shouldn't, that will help you not to easily forget what I'm saying is, you know how we write our alphabet, right? And what's the first letter that commences? It is A. So I guess that's where they brought the idea from. This A you can see right here, it means it's actually the first number as it is the first letter. So have that in mind all the time as we proceed. Now, there's also what we call the nth term. The nth term. The nth term is usually noted in the question. They can tell you, find the sixth term, find the seventh term, find the eighth term. Now, this eighth term, this seventh term, this sixth term is usually the nth term. Now, this nth that I'm referring to, this is how the formula goes. I listen to me. This is how the formula goes. But when they say, for instance, find the sixth term, then that means the sixth term is the nth term, which is this n you can see over here. Probably in the question they said, find the seventh term. Then that means the seventh term is this n you are seeing right here. The n actually is a representative of the question that you are going to receive. And now it's not only applicable here, it's also applicable on this other side. You can see n is here and n is also here. I'm sure you can see that on the screen as I point at the same time. So that's how it actually works. And then okay, I guess I've said a lot of talking. We might just have to go a little bit deeper. But before I do that, I will have to explain D. D has to do with a difference. D means difference. And what's the difference all about? The difference there is just like we started from the introduction of the video, where I was letting you all understand that in all the set of numbers that is given to you, and we are all able to tell and as far as you can tell the pattern that the numbers follow from the first to the second to the third and the fourth. If you notice that it keeps following that same pattern, that is what we call the difference. And so it is very important that you must be able to tell the difference. It's really, really important. Now, just like we have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Are you listening? Now, what is the difference in all these set of numbers? The difference here is 2. It's just an addition of 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. So if we are to solve something, for instance, and they gave us any number like this, then that means we have to put 2. Now let's say, for instance, that these same numbers are written in reverse mode, in 10, 8, 6, 4, 2. So what is the difference? If you are actually following me up there clearly, you should understand or know that it is -2. So -2 is now the difference, because this time around the number is no longer increasing, it is now decreasing. I get it. So okay, but even if you're a little bit confused, I guess you will understand by the end of this tutorial. Now let's move further. We have a question over here that said, find the 11th term of a linear sequence of the form 4, 9, 14, and 19. So it actually continues, but now what they want us to do is we should find the 11th term. And I hope you can remember what I said about the nth term. The n there is the representative of any question you will receive. And so that n now is going to represent the n in the formula is a representative of 11. So now we have gotten the question. The n is no longer going to stay there again. So instead of writing n this time around, we are going to write 11. But then we have to really, because so this is how we go about it. U11, U11. We have our formula now. We have our formula now. So like I said, the n has become 11 because they said we should find the 11th term. So now the 11 has to stay there. Now in the question they said 4, 9, 14, 19. So that means that the first term is actually 4. So we place our 4 there. Now plus, now our into bracket, what is our 11th, what is our nth term? Our nth term there is 11. The 11 they told us to find. So 11 minus 1. Now, before we put anything here, we have to find out the difference in the question. So we notice it's actually from 4 to 9, and from 9 to 14, and from 14 to 19, which means it's all addition of 5, 5, 5, 5, 5. So we are adding 5, so plus 5. So that means it's a positive 5. So we put our 5 over here. So this is how it goes. Now, before you do anything, like they usually say, word mass always start with bracket. Anything like this that involves bracket, please always start with the bracket first. Always start with the bracket first. So 11 minus 1 will give us 10. But before we do all that, let's follow procedures reasonably. U11 equals 4 plus 11 minus 1 is 10. And now we shouldn't forget that there's a bracket here, right? So it's actually a multiplication. So times 5. Now U11 equals 4 plus, so you can see what I'm doing on the screen. 4 plus 10 times 5 will give us 50. So 50 plus 4 is 54. Therefore, the 11th term is what? 54. Very easy. Now there is still something I would like to say. You see, for instance, like I said at the beginning, that the first term is usually the first number, right? So which means the second term will be the second number, and then the third term will be the third number. And so what's the third number in this set of numbers given, which is 4, 9, 14? The third number is 14. The third term there is 14. So and the fourth term will be what? 19. So when they are speaking of 11th term, we have actually gone forward. So if we have to add 5 to 19, we'll be getting 24. And now that 24 we are getting becomes our 5th term. So when we add 5 to 24, we'll be getting 29, and that 29 becomes our 6th term. And so it continues in that way. But if we decide to start doing all of that, I guess you might be penalized in class. So as your math teacher in class, they would always prefer you solve this instead of adding to get it. So that is just it. We have one more example I would like to try out. They said find the 8th term of a linear sequence of the form 47, 42, 37. Okay, I like this kind of question. If we notice 47 down to 42 and now down to 37, that means it's actually decreasing. So the difference, no, firstly, it is decreasing. We know of that. So, but what's the difference? 5. So from 47 to 42 minus 5, from 42 to 37 minus 5. So that means that the difference here is going to be negative 5. So we have to be very conscious of that. But now, before we do any other thing, please be conscious of the formula. Like I said, the formula is really, really important. Copy and paste. Once you know your formula, you're good to go. So we have our U. Now they said we should find the 8th term, right? U8 equals our first term plus n minus 1 and then d. So since they said we should find the 8th term, so put 8 here equals, and now what's the first term they gave us? The first term there is 47. So we have to be very conscious of that. So 47 plus, and now what is our n? Our n, what is the n over there? The n is 8. Now minus 1, and what's the difference? The difference is negative 5. Negative 5. So u8 equals, so 47 47 plus 8 minus 1 is going to give us 7. So 7 times negative 5 will give us negative 35. So since we're getting negative 35, negative is usually, or okay, let me go ahead and do this. Negative 35. I would not like to confuse anybody. But otherwise, when you have um, 7 times 7 times negative 5 and you get negative 35, you have to have this consciousness all the time that when plus and minus comes together, the minus usually defeats it. So that's why I did this. Otherwise, I supposed to have written u8 equals 47 minus 35. This is how it's supposed to have gone. So like this. So 47 minus 35, you are going to be getting um that should be 12. Yes. So that means that the the eighth term is 12. So that is it. I hope you all enjoyed watching this tutorial. In order not to just leave like that, I'll consider that you try this question you're seeing right now on the screen. Try it right now. Um, I'm sure you really love watching this. I would really, really appreciate this. Is the second time I'm saying this. I need those who would actually want to, watch more tutorials like this. There are still a lot of great packages to expect from my YouTube channel. While I'm talking, be solving at the same time. So don't just get too distracted. So as I say, I would really appreciate that you help me to share this tutorial out to your friends. That will really help me a lot. So one love, I really appreciate your kindness. Time up. So this is the solution. So if you got that answer, then that means you are very much correct. So thank you for watching this tutorial. I would love to see you another time. Do not forget, we always upload every Saturday by 5 in the evening worldwide time. And please, when you subscribe, click the notification bell, because when you don't click that bell, you won't know when I've uploaded another one. And again, too, I also upload maths questions, maths challenges every day. So you just be alert in case I upload anyone, so you can, participate and see whether you're actually improving. Thank you for watching. I have a very nice tutorial over here, simple interest. You can watch it and improve. Over here we have plain shapes. So watch it and improve. And I don't know. And then you can subscribe right here. Oh, please don't forget to click the bell.